Boston is known as one of America's oldest cities, filled with brick streets, old neighborhoods, and landmarks that have stood for centuries. But today, something amazing is happening. Boston is beginning to look and feel like a brand new city, full of bold ideas and giant projects that are changing how people live, travel, and move through the region. It's almost like watching an old city step into the future without forgetting where it came from. Everywhere you look, something big is rising, shifting, or being rebuilt. The city is learning how to build smarter and denser, using every inch of space to make life easier and more connected for the people who use it every day. Let's explore 10 Boston megaprojects that will change America, starting with its transportation transformations and amenities. When you step off a train at South Station today, the view above you isn't just the open sky. You now see a tower rising right over the rails, sitting on land that used to be nothing but space above the tracks. After years of delays and failed attempts, the South Station Tower finally opened on September 25, 2025, becoming one of the boldest examples of building over a working transportation hub. The South Station Tower is a 51-story mixed-use skyscraper featuring Ritz-Carlton residences, offices, and amenities above the historic South Station Transit Hub, transforming the skyline and revitalizing the area using air rights. This tower isn't just tall for the sake of height. It mixes expanded bus terminal, new concourses, green spaces, offices, and even an 11th-floor sky park with a pool stacked directly above the busiest transit point in the region. The $1.5 billion cost isn't about showing off. It's about proving that placing new development on top of major transit centers can create a powerful, useful anchor for an entire city. The expansion also boosts the bus terminal's capacity by nearly 50%, helping reduce the crowding that happens where different travel modes meet. This project wasn't simple to build, but by taking on this difficult challenge, Boston set an example for other cities that stations don't have to be just places you pass through. They can become active parts of daily life, filled with people at all hours and offering new reasons to stop, shop, meet, or simply enjoy the surroundings. Travel a little farther west, and you reach the famous curve along the Massachusetts Turnpike in Allston, a place where highway lanes, ramps, rail yards, and the Charles River all squeeze into one complicated stretch. For years, this area has been a major bottleneck, slowing traffic and creating a confusing web of concrete. The Allston I-90 multimodal project aims to straighten and simplify this 1.5-mile section of highway, clearing out the aging structures and creating cleaner connections for drivers, trains, bikes, and pedestrians. By adjusting the alignment of the road, the city can open up land that has been blocked for decades and even cap parts of the highway with parks, giving local neighborhoods a chance to touch the river again. A big piece of progress happened in 2025 as environmental reviews and design work advanced. But there was also a setback. A huge federal grant meant to reconnect communities was mostly taken back, leaving the project with only about $8 million. Instead of stopping, the state reviewed the plans again and kept moving forward because the long-term benefits still outweigh the challenges. The work needed is complicated. It involves moving rail lines, planning for storms and floods, redesigning interchanges, and managing a project that could cost close to $2 billion. But if the pieces come together, this rebuild can change Allston forever. A straighter highway means smoother travel, and the new land created by the changes will give the area room to grow in ways that were impossible before. If those guardrails fall into place, early construction could begin by 2026, opening the door to a future where this part of the city looks completely different from the tangled curve people have known for half a century. For the cities of New Bedford and Fall River, March 2025 marked a huge turning point. On that day, South Coast Rail Phase 1 officially launched, restoring regular passenger rail service to Boston for the first time in 65 years. After decades of planning, redesigning, and debating budgets, the South Coast is back on the map with a dependable train connection to the city. This new route includes about 37 miles of track work, 6 new stations, and 2 layover facilities that help keep the trains moving on schedule. For people living in the South Coast, the change is immediate and practical. People from the city can now easily visit the South Coast's waterfronts, restaurants, and cultural spots without needing a car. Right now, Phase 1 trains run using diesel locomotives. But Phase 2 is already in planning. It proposes an electrified route with faster travel times, quieter trains, and more frequent service. Getting funding will take work, But the momentum from Phase 1 gives the project a stronger argument. The more people use the new line, the clearer the benefits become. Having looked into transportation amenities, we now shift our focus to megaprojects that are reshaping Boston City District redevelopments. Let's begin with one of the most exciting transformations happening in Boston, Suffolk Downs. This massive 161-acre site was once a busy horse racing track. For many years, it sat unused, almost like a forgotten piece of land sitting between Boston and Revere. But today, engineers and planners are turning it into something completely different, a brand new city within a city. Suffolk Downs is being designed like a modern neighborhood where people can live, work, relax, and even attend events, all within walking distance. It's almost like building a fresh downtown area from scratch. Because the site is so large, planners are carefully shaping the layout to be friendly to everyone. They're adding green parks, bike lanes, and open public spaces where people can gather. They're also designing streets that support buses, shuttles, and future transit links, which means people living here won't have to rely as much on cars. Developers say Suffolk Downs could eventually hold millions of square feet of new buildings. That means thousands of jobs, thousands of homes, and more activity than the site ever saw in its racing track days. The scale alone makes Suffolk Downs one of Boston's biggest megaprojects, and its transformation is already inspiring more future growth around it. Next, we head over to the Seaport District, an area that used to be mostly parking lots and empty warehouses. Only a few decades ago, the Seaport felt like a forgotten part of the city, sitting next to the ocean. But Boston had much bigger dreams for it, and today, the Seaport is one of the fastest-growing neighborhoods in the entire United States. At the heart of this transformation is the Seaport Square Master Plan, which aims to turn the Seaport into a dense and walkable waterfront district that feels vibrant during the day and alive at night. Developers are building modern glass towers that rise above new parks, restaurants, and entertainment spaces in an attempt to create a neighborhood where people can work in a high-tech office tower, grab lunch by the water, shop in the afternoon, and relax in a public courtyard in the evening, all without leaving the neighborhood. One of the most important parts of the master plan is how it connects everything together. Because the Seaport is right by the harbor, planners are also working on open waterfront areas where people can walk, sit, and enjoy the views. Now let's move toward downtown Boston, where another bold megaproject is taking shape, Bulfinch Crossing. This redevelopment focuses on the old Government Center garage, a massive concrete structure from the 1960s that covered several city blocks and created a dark barrier between neighborhoods. For years, it made the area feel closed off and disconnected. But instead of simply tearing it down, planners had a much bigger idea: replace the garage with a brand new vertical neighborhood. Bulfinch Crossing includes a mix of tall residential towers, modern office buildings, and open spaces built right on top of and around the old garage site. Engineers are carefully removing parts of the garage while constructing new buildings at the same time. One highlight of this transformation is how the new towers open up the streets that were once blocked by the garage. Sunlight reaches places that were dark for decades. Public spaces are being added, making the district feel more open and friendly. As we look at all these major projects together, a clear strategy begins to emerge. Boston is not growing randomly or without a plan. Instead, the city is using a thoughtful approach that strengthens its central districts, expands its surrounding neighborhoods, and improves the connections between every part of the region. By building stronger transportation systems, modern airports, new research districts, and future-focused neighborhoods, Boston is preparing for decades of growth and innovation. Boston is shaping its future with bold ideas and massive investments. The work happening today will define how people live, travel, learn, and work in the city for generations. And as we continue exploring the next set of megaprojects, the full scale of Boston's transformation becomes even more exciting.